Hello and welcome back to Creepy Cassetti, your place for horror in reality and beyond. I'm your host Dee, and if this is your type of content, please smash that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell, because it really helps the channel and I appreciate you all. Today we are going to be discussing 6 dark things that took place in Halloween or haunted house attractions. So let's get started. You've gotta love how creative and creepy people can get when it comes to Halloween and horror attractions. The range of decor and costumes can be anywhere from cheesy to funny to dark and disturbing, and I'm personally here for all of it. But as always with people, things can go from good times to horrifying real quick. And I've compiled a list of real dark events that either took place at horror amusement attractions or places decorated in the Halloween spirit. Number 6. On October 5th, 2018, Tanya Greenfield and a few friends went to the Nashville Nightmare Haunted House. The attraction boasts 4 haunted houses and an escape room. Cast members also chased customers around with fake weapons. While they were waiting in line, one of the cast members walked up and asked if Tanya's friend, James Yoakum, was bothering her. She playfully replied with a yes and was given what she believed was just a prop knife. She stabbed at her friend in the arm and was horrified when she pulled back and saw real blood on the blade and James gushing blood. The attraction's medical team responded quickly and the police were called. James was taken to Skyline Emergency Hospital and given 9 stitches. Thankfully, no major arteries or tendons were severed. The cast member responsible apologized, stating that he did not realize that the real knife was that sharp. And just a side note here, why would you hand someone a real knife at a haunted house? Even if it wasn't that sharp, I mean, you're not supposed to play with a butter knife. I'm really confused by the logic here, but I digress. Number 5. On Halloween night 2011 in Omaha, Nebraska, Leslie Garcia and a few friends were trick-or-treating when a man named Frank Alba, who was hanging out at a friend's house, dressed up as the Texas Chainsaw Murderer, jumped out and revved a real chainsaw at the children. A frightened Leslie fled into a busy street and was hit by a Ford F-250 driven by Daryl Devaki. Leslie sustained injuries to almost her whole body, some of which are permanent. Thankfully, Leslie is still living. Number 4. September 16, 2017, a man by the name of Cheung visited the Ocean Park in Hong Kong, an attraction called Buried Alive. The ride consisted of closed-in coffins that traveled down a track past ghoulish figures. He accidentally wandered into a restricted area and was hit by a moving coffin. He was found 5 minutes after the incident and died later in the hospital. Number 3. September 1957, in Utica, Kansas, teacher Mrs. Betty Stevens set up a haunted house for the local high school students. Her concern was the hazing measures seniors were taking with the freshmen, and she decided to give the students a distraction. So she set up a haunted house in an abandoned farmhouse 2 miles outside of town. Principal William Hobart Saleh decided to get in on the action and put on a little hangman performance for the kids. He covered himself in black grease paint, ketchup, and tied a rope beneath his armpits. His feet still touched the floor, littered with broken bottles and fire chains. The children were led into the barn where they were given a little fright seeing their principal hanging from the ceiling. When Mrs. Stevens returned to take a picture, she realized something was wrong. It is thought that the principal had slipped on some of the floor debris and the rope slipped from around his neck and strangled him to death. I literally cannot imagine how those kids would have felt to know that what was supposed to be a frightful prank turned into a tragic accident. How would you feel? Let me know in the comments below. Number 2. October 31st, 2008, Denise Moyer and her friend co-worker Marceline Jones were having a good time at a Halloween party taking place at their job when Denise got a not-so-bright idea. She decided to mimic a prank she had seen on Wedding Crashers by slipping Viazine into Marceline's drink. What she thought would not cause much more than a little stomach discomfort and mild gastrointestinal distress did much more damage than expected. 2 days later, on November 2nd, 2008, Marceline died in the hospital. What Denise probably didn't know was the Viazine contains the active ingredient tetrahydrozoline, HCl, which causes constricted blood vessels, vascular nervous system, and respiratory issues. Denise escaped a murder charge because the autopsy results, reviewed by Dr. Michael Bading, concluded there was not enough evidence of Viazine in the system to pursue homicide charges. number 1. At 6:35 p.m. on May 11, 1984, a fire started at the Six Flags Haunted Castle in Jackson Township, New Jersey. The structure, which was made up of 17 interconnected commercial trailers and plywood frames, was thought to have been set alight by a foam pad that caught fire and spread through the structure. The smoke billowed out the top of the structure and through the open doors. The fire was brought under control at around 7:45 p.m. that day, but 8 teenagers were found dead within 24 feet of the nearest exit, and firefighters were unsure of why they were not able to make it out of the door. It could have been that they were too choked up by the smoke to make it out. 7 other people were taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. The attraction is now owned by a different company and undergoes regular inspections and fire safety protocols. So what do you think? Does it make you apprehensive about stepping into your next haunted house or Halloween attraction? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.